Hello everyone. Can you hear me well? Is it all good? If you can hear me well, just write so in the chat. Welcome to this live AMA. I'm Lily, the CPO at Litentry. I'm really excited to be talking to you today. Hopefully we have a really nice discussion. So today, this is kind of like we're doing it a bit different. So you've noticed that it's not on YouTube, but of course we'll share it later on. This will be recorded, so no worries. You can share it later. You can watch it again. We're doing it a little bit differently this time because we actually want it to be a little bit more interactive. And so hopefully this allows us to make it so. But we're happy to get feedback on the format afterwards, or if you liked this tool, if you didn't like it, if you found something useful and not, just let us know. So these live AMAs we want to do more of in the future, so we'll be doing it more regularly with different team members. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for us to get to know you, the community, a little bit better. But I also think it's a great opportunity for you to ask questions, to give us feedback, to also share what's on your mind. I do want to get a little bit closer to the community. I think we can do a lot of things together that can help the team. I think there are a lot of interesting inputs and insights from you guys, so we definitely want to be like getting more and more engaged in the future. So I would be really excited today to answer your questions. Obviously, one of the things that we just released, and that will be the topic of today, will be the roadmap. So we have an updated roadmap that was released yesterday. You can check the link on Twitter. And of course, we shared it also in our communities, and it should be available everywhere. And one thing I want to mention is I already noticed that some people were struggling to open the link. They thought they have to register. That should not be the case. So you should be able to access the roadmap without registering. We don't want you to register anywhere. So you should just follow the link. It should be possible. If you struggle, let us know. Maybe check with in the community. There should be someone ready to help you. But yes, you should be able to access the roadmap without registering. All right, so so far so good. No one mentioned if you can hear me well. So I'm just kind of hoping that it's all good, but it's fine. I'll just continue, and I trust the system that it works fine. Cool. So in terms of the roadmap, maybe I can share the link again on here so that you guys have it as well. Let me see. And then what we can do is I want to share the roadmap and just walk you through a little bit our thought process so that you can also kind of understand where we're coming from, and also you can ask questions in the meantime. So feel free to use the chat to ask questions. There's also this ask question at the bottom of your screens. So if you want to ask something, you can go ahead and already ask, and I'll just have a look later and just answer your questions. There were already some questions on the chat in the community, so I'll also answer those as well. All right, so let me just copy the link and just share it on here as well. So you should be able to open this and have a look. So first thing, I also want to emphasize that the fact that it's online is not just a graphic anymore. And I think this gives us a lot of flexibility to, first of all, to edit it more quickly. And so hopefully it's going to be easier for us to keep it up to date, so that what we want to do is make sure that whenever someone looks at it, it's always up to date. And we will try and reflect any changes as they arise. So if something's done, we're gonna mark it as done as soon as possible. And then if there's like a new thing that we're working on, we'll be adding it as well. So I think this format of having it online just really gives us a lot of flexibility, and I hope that you can appreciate that. And also hopefully you don't have to like try and find a graphic somewhere on our blogs and so on anymore, but you can actually just have this link and then you can always access it from anywhere. It also gives us a lot of opportunities just visually and also like space-wise to present the content in a way that it's easily digestible. Like we don't have to cram it into some sort of graphic as well. So I think there's a lot of benefits in having it in this format. I do hope that you like it that way. I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully this works well. And I just want to, oh, well, yeah, I guess we can do that. So that's fine. Let's share, and then let's do this. So what I'm actually, I hope that you see that. Can you see that? Can you see my screen? It would be great if you can actually confirm. Okay, so hopefully you can see that, but if you're not able to, just follow the link and then I'll walk you through it. So at the top, what we've done is we've explained a little bit the different terms that we're using. So that I think for some people that might not be so familiar with certain terms, it's easier to actually understand what we mean. So we've listed the different projects and we explained a little bit what each project is about. And we also explained a little bit in the legend what sort of statuses you can have for each one and what it means. So over here, if something's not clear, you can always refer to it. And then if it's still not clear, you can always ask. So that should be something that hopefully helps. This time what we did is we actually split the roadmap into a different project that we're working on for more visibility, so you can actually see everything that we're working on at the moment. We realized that in the last roadmap, there were a couple of things that weren't on there, but we were actually working on it. For example, things like my crypto profile might not have been necessarily on there, or things like the ecosystem activities that are also quite important for us. And the infrastructure topics, not everything was on there as well. So we've actually split it now into those lanes, and you can see more easily what is it that we're actually working on. And I think also that way, if you're only interested in a specific project, then you can just go to that one project and just see exactly what is interesting for you. And then you don't have to, you don't have to look at everything. So hopefully that helps you to focus a little bit. What we've done also, we've added those statuses so you can see what's done, what's being worked on at the moment. So it's work in progress. What's coming up next and what's in the pipeline. We also have those milestones as well. So the milestones is just a little bit of a guidance from us to help the team to, in the community, to know what sort of things we're looking forward to achieve and what sort of things we find to be very important to our progress, and so we're working towards them. So something's a milestone, get very excited. We definitely want to get there as soon as possible. It's something that we believe will be really, really important, and so that's why we're highlighting it as a milestone. Perfect. So someone actually mentioned that they can see me, so that's great. So going back to here, I also want to talk a little bit about this classification of, work in progress, next, pipeline, done, and so on. I've noticed comments about, a timeline not being present, and instead we've given this indication of, progress in time. So if something's work in progress, it's happening now. Next is like in the next few weeks or months, it's in the immediate future once we're done with whatever is in progress. And pipeline is something we intend to do, but it's in the future, like it's coming up at a later stage. And so the reason why we didn't really give a timeline, and I'm already answering one of the questions, is because it's actually quite hard sometimes to provide a meaningful estimate on some of those projects, especially because some of these are really, really technical, require a lot of experimentation, learning as well. And so we're not always able to provide a very concrete estimate, especially for things that are happening maybe at a later stage. So for example, something that is quite down here and we haven't actually started working on it yet. It might be that we're not entirely sure of the full scope of it just yet. And we're not able to then provide a very concrete estimate. And so I don't want to just give a random some sort of like, something that I know is not going to be very concrete, because I think that's not a lot of value in it. I don't want to do this sort of corporate exercise of just attaching, a Q1, Q2, and Q3 to some of those tickets. But I do understand the value that that sort of indication has. And so I've been thinking a little bit about how can we help the community to have that sort of visibility on when can they expect things. So as I mentioned, this is like a first draft of this roadmap. We're happy to get feedback, comments as well. So we'll keep thinking about how can we keep you more, in the loop. And I think going forward, what we want to do, as I mentioned, is when we update the roadmap, and we want to update it quite regularly, we'll be also communicating it in the different channels with you. We'll have those regular AMAs as well to keep you posted about the different progress of the different things. And also, what I want to do is, for example, maybe we could do like a specific roadmap update, in our Medium, for example, Medium pages and so on. So I definitely am thinking about how to keep the community, up to date. We haven't found a very sensible approach yet. So if you have ideas, let us know. But it's on our radar for sure. And one other thing I wanted to mention. So we've also cleaned up a little bit some of the things that were on the old roadmap, because we figured out that some of them weren't applicable anymore. So if you don't find something on here, but it was on the old roadmap, it was likely that we just don't think that we'll be doing this anymore. You can ask about it specifically for sure. So feel free to do so, and we're happy to provide, explanation for each item. But just wanted to keep it, we haven't forgotten anything, or it's not like we just, we don't want to address it. It's we thought about it, we discussed it, and then in the end, we decided that maybe it wasn't something that we wanted to pursue at this point in time. Also keep in mind that the reason why sometimes roadmaps change down the line is because the market changes. The market is like super exciting. It's really, it's really quite, things change really fast, and there are a lot of developments going on. And sometimes we just see something that we believe could be fitting into our development, and so we start pursuing that as well, although it wasn't on our roadmap. Or for example, a specific partnership comes up, and then we believe that it's something, again, valuable, and we want to pursue that. And so what we do is, we also start working on it. So sometimes we add things to the roadmap as well, and therefore some things might get a little bit bumped down. But that doesn't mean that we're not, thinking about holistically what we're doing. It just means that there are new opportunities that arise, and we also want to make sure that we are, having our hand on the pulse of the market as well. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. So hopefully that was a good explanation of what some of the things we did are and why we did them. Now is a great time for some questions. So guys, do you have any questions? Anything that you want to know? You can write it in the chat. You can ask the question in the specific ask a question tool. So there are different opportunities for you to get in touch, and I definitely want to have this sort of a two-way communication. That's why we're on here. We're not on YouTube, so hopefully people can feel like they have more avenues to be involved. Some people arrived late, which is fine. It's totally fine. This will be recorded. It will be shared. So if you missed something, you can always just check it out later. So no worries. I already see some other people joining, so perfect. Okay, I see some questions. Yes, perfect. Okay, so ad hoc changes opportunities are okay, but when do you have the main net? Yes, that's a fair question. Of course, one of the downsides of pursuing some of the new opportunities that you see in the market is that it obviously takes away, or it could potentially take away from some of your focus on some of the things that you were doing up to now. And so before we actually start doing something, we're always thinking, does it weigh up, does it make sense to pursue this new thing? Would it change what we're currently focusing on, and so on? And so it's not like we're just seeing something shiny out there and we just run after it. We think about how would it affect the current efforts, and would it take away from some of our other focuses. And so I just want to mention, like, when it comes to new opportunities, we definitely think about them very carefully. Mainnet, we are really working on it. The team has been very hard working on it. You can see it on GitHub. We've actually added more people to the team, and we're looking to add even more, because we believe that this definitely is something that is our main focus. And so I don't want to give you like an end date, but I can already share that there's been a lot of progress happening, and hopefully we can give you a bit more concrete things to look at very soon. Next question is, have you covered timeframes for the roadmap? Yes, I've actually covered that. So the reason why we didn't really have like Q1, Q2, the usual traditional sort of distinction in terms of timelines for roadmap is because for some of these topics, it's quite hard to provide this sort of estimate, and it's going to feel like a little bit of like an exercise rather than having a lot of value in those sort of time frames. But we are thinking about how to provide that sort of information to the community, because we want to be open. And so we will be providing you with timely updates on any updates on the roadmap as much as possible. By the way, if you have any such suggestions for timeframes or for anything else that you want to see in the roadmap, this is version 1. So we're happy to get the feedback, and of course we'll be thinking about it, and we could also add like additional things on the roadmap as well. Does Litentry have a plan to develop a bridge? We have a lot of plans. I think this is an interesting question, but currently as I mentioned, we're focusing on the mainnet. We're focusing on the things that are on the roadmap, and as you can see, there are already quite a lot. So we're even thinking like, okay, we have to add more people so we can even be able to accomplish all of these things. So when it comes to like these opportunities, I think some of them are a bit more concrete. The things that we're already working on, we sort of know what we want to do. And the things that are a little bit down the line, we're still sort of figuring out what is it that we want to do. And so we're open to a lot of opportunities, as I mentioned. So nothing's like completely set in stone. If it makes sense, we will be doing those things. All right. So what about other questions? Do you guys have any other questions? So on Twitter, I saw some comments, but I don't believe there were a lot of questions on there. Are there any plans to partner with some of the larger projects on Polkadot? There are plans. We are in discussion, but as you know, we cannot announce anything before it's finalized, let's say that way. And so I cannot really name names right now. But of course, we're thinking about partnerships. Some of them are quite obvious that we could do something and it's going to be very meaningful. And so I think there are some opportunities there. I really cannot name names, but hopefully very soon we can share something exciting in that direction. Yeah, perfect. Any other questions? In the community chat, I saw that someone was also asking about the roadmap. Where was it? So if you don't know where to find it, on the road, sorry, on Twitter, you can have it. It's on there. There's the link is posted, but also on the community chat, the message is pinned. So you should be able to find it on the top. And if it's still you cannot find it, I'm sure if you just ask, people will be happy to share the link with you as well. Happy to answer. Yeah, happy to answer any other questions. This is really an opportunity for you guys to really get involved, to ask questions, to suggest things, to say what you're happy with, what you're not happy with, to I don't know, to just voice what's on your mind. So I really hope that you guys take it up. Of course, it's the first time we're doing something like this, so perhaps maybe not everyone's feeling confident, which is fine. You can always just share something. So I see, so someone's mentioning the community's having troubles engaging with the project. I see that. I see what you mean. I think that we want to change that. We want the community to be able to, feel that they can engage with us. We want to be more approachable, and we want to give them more like different opportunities for the people to engage with us. So some people are maybe a bit more confident in a certain format, and other people might be more confident in a different format. So that's why I think we want to open up different options for people to engage. So hopefully people appreciate that. Can't say I'm happy regarding the lack of transparency surrounding the Kusama auction. So that's definitely a learning we have. So I think what we did was that we were, of course, discussing internally how to progress, what to do with the Kusama auction. And we could have been more engaged with the community on this one. We could have taken the community with us on this journey. And I think this is definitely a learning. And I think for next time, this would definitely be different. We're already thinking about how to make it so that the community is more involved from an early stage for the Polkadot auction. Hopefully we can share a couple of things coming up in the next few days on this topic. And I think in terms of the learning, we definitely will be slicing our communication to go with this project so that you have a more small bites here and there whenever we also have updates, so you don't have to wait for so long. So hopefully yeah, we've learned our lesson, and next time it will be different. So currently Lit is utilized on staking and trading. It would be great if we can see other utilities in the future, such as NFT stuff. Yeah, absolutely. We are obviously also very excited about to provide other opportunities. We're working on it. Stay tuned. We definitely want to have more utility as well, and so hopefully we can do some of these things very soon. The other comment that I see here, the roadmap is seen as the key for progress to the community. Yes, so that's something that I personally take as a learning as well. Like, it's been a long time since we actually updated the roadmap. And so now I'm taking it on my own radar to actually personally make sure that it's up to date, and then there's more communication on it. I'm super happy to engage in these sort of live AMAs whenever people want, or even if they don't mention it, I can still schedule something. I'm quite happy to put myself here and answer questions. So I think I'll be doing more of that in the future, and hopefully this sort of this sort of episode where we didn't really update it for that long is not going to happen again. There will be frequent announcements. Yes. So someone was asking in the comments. There will be frequent announcements. I think we would, as I mentioned, we will try to make it so that we help the community to be more engaged, and I think that would also mean that there will be more frequent announcements from our side. Maybe I can already mention something. Maybe you've noticed, but we're actually looking to hire like a community lead. And I think this is a person who will be fully tasked with those things, such as, engaging the community a bit more, making sure that the community is always up to date on different topics and so on. And this will be this will be someone who's part of the team. And I think it's something that I think will help a lot. So if you know someone who might fit, let us know. We'll be happy to talk to them. Yeah, so if you have questions, but it's like difficult to type or whatever, it's fine. You can take your time. You can type more questions. I'm here for you. Or if you feel like this is not the right forum, you can just say, okay, I'm just gonna type up my questions and then just I don't know, add it in the chat, in the community chat. It's fine. Like I think what I would do also more of in the future is I'll be more engaging in the community chat as well. So I've noticed, I've been reading through the comments. Sometimes it's a bit noisy with other topics as well, but a lot of times there are a lot of interesting discussions and insights. So I would also try to answer more questions on there as well myself. So if that's not the right format for you, that's also fine. Actually, a funny thing, I don't know if I can, someone mentioned about Litentry and Friends. I don't know if I can already mention that, but there's a Litentry and Friends next episode coming up. What day is today? I think it's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. It's in 2 or 3 weeks, there will be another Litentry and Friends episode. So yeah, stay tuned. And it's going to be me again. I'm going to be on there. So yeah, I see some people are really active, others not as much. So just think about what kind of what's preventing you from being more active in this discussion, and just share. Oh, maybe I don't know, I don't feel confident about my English level or something like that, which is totally fine. I am not gonna. I think as long as we can understand each other, level of English doesn't really it's not a problem. So feel free to shoot questions. Okay, I think we would need something more tangible, clearly communicated. You guys doing a lot of things in the background. Somehow this information doesn't really go into the community. Yes, we've learned about that. So as I mentioned, we're looking into ways. We've heard you guys. We're looking into ways to be more, engaging with the community, to make sure that the communication reaches everyone. As I mentioned, we'll be looking to add a new team member to solidly take care of these things. So hopefully that helps. But as I mentioned, keep giving us feedback. We're super happy to listen, and we reflect on it a lot, and we try to solve things as soon as possible. Alrighty, so we're nearing the half-an-hour mark here. I don't know if you guys have anything last you want to ask, or anything else that's on your mind, or just share. How was this event for you? Was that something that you expected? Was it different than what you expected? Do you want to see more of that? Do you want to see less of that? How was it for you? You can just do thumbs up, thumbs down, emojis. It's also fine. Are there many projects coming online with the recent mentoring program? I think recent mentoring program, I'm not entirely sure, but I think you mean the DID program. So we already have the first batch of three companies, of 3 projects. And at the moment we're working with them, but of course we're on the lookout for other projects as well for our second batch in the future. So if you know something interesting, like a project that you think can be fitting, let us know. I think Mel would be very excited to get your recommendations. So just let us know. Any contact with the team has value. Yes, I agree. I think that's great. We'll do more of that. Okay, so all of a sudden there were a lot of things. Sharing some insights into each of the products. What we could do, for example, is like have a separate short video for each of the products so that you can specifically ask questions on maybe what's specifically interesting for you on each of the product. Maybe that way it's a bit more focused instead of doing all of the products into one video. So that's something that I would suggest to the team, and maybe we can start doing that a little bit. What else is there? So someone suggested if I can walk them through the roadmap. I did that at the beginning. I'm not sure if you were there for that part. If not, you can see the recording after this is done. I'll share the recording, and then you can see that part as well. And if that's not what you had in mind, then feel free to just say it again, like, hey, I would like this and this to be done differently, and then we can see what we can do. All right, so I'm really glad that all of a sudden there was a bit of activity on the chat. I see people sharing their thoughts. It's really great. I'm happy that people found this valuable. I'm happy that people are sharing what's on their minds. I'm happy that people are sharing concerns, questions, and someone's saying that they believe that we have a great project and the long-term potential could be impressive. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. I'm also really excited about the future. I think there's a lot of interesting things coming up. And I do hope that, there's even more things happening soon that we can share. So yeah, thanks a lot for the input. I think for now, what we can do is wrap it up a little bit. But as I mentioned, these things will be, so these sort of AMAs will be happening more frequently now from now on. There will be a Litentry and Friends episode coming in 2 to 3 weeks. Hopefully, we can already share some exciting things in the meantime as well, product-wise. And one thing that I take it as an idea is to maybe have like specific videos on each of the products with like different team members that might be working on those products. So that could be an interesting idea for like a next AMA. So I will discuss it with the team, and then we might do something like that. I think it would be very valuable. So thanks for that idea. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been really great. I really enjoyed it. I think this tool actually has a lot more options. So I think in the future we could use even more and more of these options. I think it's really great that we can do those sort of like more intimate discussions. So yeah, thanks so much. And I'll be sharing the recording of this soon. So stay tuned. You can share it with your friends. You can share it with the rest if someone's not being able to attend. Just make sure you can also share that. And if you have any questions, as usual, just feel free to ask in the community chat. Happy to answer. So take care, and thank you for being with me today. I'm Lily again. So happy to answer your questions, and enjoy the rest of your day. So bye-bye.